Hello, welcome to my channel. It is very easy to prepare your tax return. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Wealthsimple Tax to prepare your tax return. There are many CRA certified software. Some are free, some are not. You can choose the one that best meets your needs. I always start by reviewing my notice of assessment from the prior year to see if I have any carry forward amount. For example, RRSP contribution limit and just the tuition amount. In addition to T3, T4, T5, you may also have receipt for medical expenses, donations, home office expenses, etc. It is very important to keep all of your supporting documents for at least 6 years.
Wealthsimple Tax has different versions. The basic version is free. They call this the pay what you want version, but you can enter 0 to use this for free. The first step is to log into Wealthsimple Tax. If you don't have an account, you will have to create a new account. After you log in, you can create a new file for the 2024 tax year. I already created a new file, so I'm just going to open the 2024 file. You just have to go through the questions one by one in order to prepare your tax return. First, you need to enter your personal information. For the CRA autofill my return, if you have a CRA My Account, this optional function allows you to download the information that the CRA has available, so that you don't have to enter all the information manually. If you're using this function, it is still important to check the information with your supporting documents just to make sure that all the information is downloaded properly and completely. The net file access code is an 8-character code located on your notice of assessment for the previous year. It is intended to be used as an extra level of security. If this is the first time you file your tax return, you don't have to enter this. This field is optional. Next, enter your mailing address and phone number, and confirm whether you have a non-Canadian mailing address. The next question is, were you a Canadian resident for all of 2024? I'm going to choose yes. If you choose no, there will be another question. Did you become a resident of Canada, immigrate for income tax purposes in 2024? This question is related to the residency status for income tax purposes. Generally, a newcomer becomes a resident of Canada for income tax purposes when they establish significant residential ties in Canada. If you become a resident of Canada for income tax purposes in 2024, you need to provide additional information, such as your date of entry and your income earned while you were a non-resident. The income earned as a non-resident before moving to Canada is non-taxable, except for income you received from Canadian source. Income earned as a non-resident is required to calculate certain benefits and credits. If you are not sure about your residency status for income tax purposes, I would recommend you to consult with a professional. Enter your province or territory of residence on December 31st, 2024. If your province or territory of residence has changed in 2024, you have to enter the date of your move. Confirm whether your home address is the same as your mailing address, and specify which province or territory you currently live in. Next, Specify your marital status and whether you want to prepare your tax returns together if you have a spouse or common law partner. Whether your marital status has changed in 2024 and whether you have any dependents. There are benefits for preparing your tax return and your spouse or common law partner's tax return together because it will be easier to optimize the tax credit. At the end of the process, the software will generate two separate tax returns, and you have to file those separately. Next, answer some CRA questions. Answer all the questions and scroll down. For the question, did you own or hold specified foreign property, where the total cost amount of all such property at any time in the year was more than 100,000 Canadian dollars in 2024. If your answer to this question is yes, or you're not sure, you should consult with a professional. This is because the rules for foreign property T1135 reporting are very complex. Answer all the questions in this session and scroll to the next session. For the Canada carbon rebate, we have to specify the area we live in. For the email notifications from the CRA, choose whether you prefer to receive your notifications and documents electronically. Next, I'm going to go to the spouse or common law partner session and answer the questions. After we enter the basic information, now it is time to enter the information based on your tax slips and supporting documents. To find and add tax forms, deductions, or credits, you can go to Manage your tax forms and type the name in the search box. Alternatively, you can use the navigation panel on the left to go to the tax form if you have already set it up. Let's add a T4. You need to enter all the information as per your T4 tax slip, including the employer's name, employment income, province or territory of employment, CPP contributions, EI contributions, income tax deducted, etc. Once you're done entering all the information, double check just to make sure that you enter everything accurately. If you have more than one T4, you can click Add another T4. Next, we'll add a T5. Enter the information as per your T5 tax slip. I earned interest income. Interest income is reported in box 13. If it is a joint account, you have to put in the percentage that you are entitled to. If you have more than one T5, click Add another T5. Next, we'll look at donations. Choose the recipient, enter a description and the donation amount. If you have any unused donations that were carried forward from prior years, you can enter it here as well. If you donate any capital or depreciable property in 2024, you can specify it here as well. We'll look at home office expenses. I worked from home in 2024 and I met the CRA criteria for using the detailed method to claim home office expenses. Choose the option that is relevant for you. I'm going to choose salaried employee. Remember, you need supporting documents and a signed T2200 form from your employer in order to use the detailed method. You do not have to submit Form T2200 with your tax return. However, the CRA may ask to see it later. Enter all the relevant information. Some examples of eligible expenses including rent, electricity, heat, utilities, and home internet access fee. To calculate the percentage of workspace in your home expenses you can deduct, use a reasonable basis, such as the area of the workspace divided by the total finished area. Next, we'll look at medical expenses. To qualify for the medical expenses tax credit, generally, your medical expenses must be more than the lesser of 3% of your 2024 net income, or $2,759. In the medical expenses section, specify the person who incurred the expense, enter a description, choose the type of expense, and enter the amount of expense. If you have more than one expense, click Add Another Expense. Next, we will enter the RRSP information. For the RRSP, you have to enter your deduction limit for 2024. You can find this information on your 2023 Notice of Assessment. My deduction limit was $2,000, and the contribution that I made in 2024 was also $2,000. Choose the type of the RRSP contribution, enter a description and amount. You can choose whether to use all of your RRSP deduction in 2024 or save all or some to future years. Let's look at tuition. Enter the information based on your T2202. You can find your Canada training credit limit on your previous year's Notice of Assessment and in your CRA My account. If you have a spouse or common law partner and you would like to prepare your returns together, you can enter their information. The questions are basically the same, such as identification, address, CRA questions, etc. Once you have entered all the tax slips and information, click Review and Optimize to see if there are any warnings or suggestions that we need to address. The software optimizes the tax credits for you. If you want to override some of the allocations of the tax credits, you can manually adjust the numbers in the Optimizations section. Review the information to ensure everything has been entered correctly. Based on the information entered, the software calculates the refund or balance owing. When you are ready to file your tax return, click Submit Tax Return. You will have to do this separately for each of the individuals who need to file a return. You will get a confirmation number from the CRA. Please keep this for your record. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.